Hi, I'm Norm Stevens, Economic Development Manager, and this is Broken Arrow Mayor Craig Thurman. Last month, the city started a new series where I updated the authority on current and future economic development efforts in Broken Arrow. The main topic last month highlighted our efforts to recruit a grocery store to South Broken Arrow. Due to all the great feedback, we decided to pull that section of the video and share it directly with you. Here's the clip. You know, the city of Broken Arrow is often accused, and it's number 2 on our list tonight, of not doing anything to recruit grocery to South Broken Arrow. Probably of anything that I read on social media or hear that is said that about us not recruiting grocery in the south part of our city that upsets me, that may be right at the top of the list. Over the past 2 years or less, City and Chamber of Commerce staff have met with, exchanged information with, or attempted to contact 45 grocery providers. And this is across the nation. I'm going to highlight 9 of them. These are the 9 I can speak to because I have actively pursued them. Aikens Natural Grocers. Staff recently met with the Senior Vice President of Healthy Edge Retail Group and discussed the New Orleans Square project. Crest. Crest originally had a goal of 10 locations. They're building number 9 right now in Yukon and is scheduled to be completed by the end of 2020. Crest has purchased land in East Edmond for location number 10. They prefer to stay somewhat local due to the fact that they have a major distribution center in Edmond of 220,000 square feet. Any location outside that area would increase their delivery cost. We will continue to pursue Crest for our city. Albertsons, I exchanged emails with their senior real estate manager who advised they were not expanding into Broken Arrow, or into Oklahoma, forgive me. Sprouts, I've had numerous conversations with Sprouts. One of the first deals that we did was to bring Sprouts to North Broken Arrow, and I meet with their site consultant on a regular basis. Reesers, up to October 2019, I received a email from their site selector with the Association of Wholesale Grocers advising that they are seeing a softening market and sales forecasts are not improving for that location in Southwest Broken Arrow. They're still reluctant to invest in a new store at this time. They review it every 90 days. However, they were seeing a downward trend in the market as a whole. For now, they're going to hold tight and review this again in the future. Aldi's in June 2020, I exchanged emails with Matt Martis, who's their site selector with Payne and Associates out of Tulsa. He advised Aldi's is in a holding pattern right now. They like the area, South Broken Arrow, but have a couple of markets in the pipeline ahead of us. It would help if we could get activity from another anchor or 2. I continue to pursue Aldi's. Kroger's does not have an Oklahoma location. Winco Foods, I've had numerous conversations with their site selector. He's advised me time and again they're not looking at South Broken Arrow. They're using a Tulsa location as a test market. In the event that sales at that location continue strong, Winco anticipates putting in 4 to 5 stores in the region. He has told me straight out, if Winco decides to locate in Broken Arrow, it will most certainly be for a store in the Northeast Quadrant. Sam's and Costco. I met with the site selector for Costco a few years ago, and I offered them nearly free land in the southwest portion of our city. They refused, saying it did not fit their criteria. They drew a circle on the iPad map showing the area around 91st and Yale, a circular, and said we will locate within here, and we all know where they ended up locating. Many of these that are on your screen right now are the people that the Chamber has reached out to very, very recently and sent packets of information. The lack of of additional grocery in Southwest Broken Arrow is not due to everyone putting forth their best effort to get that grocery in South Broken Arrow. We know what people want. I continue to work on it. Jennifer Conway and her staff continue to work on it. We're not going to stop until we get that. The area is getting stronger. There's getting more rooftops. There's getting more density. There's getting more daytime density. It will happen. I just can't tell you it's going to happen in the next month or 2. but it will happen. With that being said, that's the end of this presentation. Mr. Spurgeon, if you have anything else, or I will be happy to answer any questions you may have.
No, I just wanted to cover the supermarket, the grocery store, because that's something that I know the council members hear quite a bit about the fact that it was disappointing that Reese's made that business decision to leave, and that was the anchor in the New Orleans Square.
Yes, sir.
I just want to point out is that I had a conversation with Jeff Reeser in I think it was June or July of 2018 while you were at the air show.
Yes, sir.
And said that I would be willing to take an incentive package to the council of at least $1 million. And he said, Michael, I appreciate that, but it won't even touch it based on what I need to renovate that building and to build my new model because I want to put, if I did do it, I'd want to put the model that I have in North Broken Arrow, and so I need $6 to $9 million, and based on what I can sell groceries for, I just can't get a return on my investment. And so it was very disappointing to see. We tried to work with him by doing a TIF in 2 different locations, and the amount of return on his investment that he wanted via sales tax was not something we could justify. And so I do agree that we have to stay on it. We have to continue to work to find a second grocer in Broken Arrow. That's what the people want. That's what the council said. And so I think we just need to continue our efforts, making those calls, traveling where we need to travel to try to convince someone to make that investment, knowing that we'd be glad to do an incentive. Now, that's what I wanted to touch on tonight, mainly is the grocery store, and I'll be glad to answer any questions the council member. And I'd also like some feedback on some of the things you would like to see us talk about in future presentations.
Any questions or feedback?
I think that in years past, and a while back, we used to get feedback on what was going on in the city, knowing all along that a lot of things that goes on is confidential, a lot of things you can't talk about or the chamber can't talk about for a while, but at least it helps us communicate with the public, at least if we know that something's going on.
Yeah, I think it's a really good thing that we are doing this communication. I think it's really important because there is a lot going on behind the scenes, and even with what you said, there's still more going on behind the scenes. And as you know, since Vice Mayor Udi and I, have served on this committee for New Orleans Square, it's we're very excited just the way that report is coming along, and it'll be fun to see the things that happen in the next year even.
One of the things
I appreciate you.
Thank you, ma'am. One of the things that's important, you have a city manager that whenever we were doing a little bit of research on him when it was down to the last few, economic development is his passion. And he has got a ton of good ideas, and he never sits back on his laurels. He's always pushing, he's always making suggestions. That's a great asset that our city has, is that we don't sit back. We put a lot of effort and a lot of resources towards retail development, towards manufacturing, towards business recruitment and expansion.
I've served either on the chamber board or the EDC board or this council for the better part of 15 years or more. And we've been doing all this for that entire time. Yeah. There's been an assumption that it hasn't gone on, and I've never understood that except just out of frustration. Sure. But I know for a fact, because I've been part of it for 16, 17 years, that this has been going on. But I think it's time, high time, past time, that we make sure that everyone understands what we've been doing. And of course, as Councilor Park said, we're limited in what we can disclose, because a lot of times if a deal's brewing, the last thing that business wants us to do is go out and say, hey, they're coming. Can there be a lot of factors that could damage? But just to let people know, we've met with 20 different businesses to get them here. So we're not sitting down there, and I've never understood the concept that, especially I live in South Broken Arrow, and I know Councilor Gillespie does too. We don't sit down there gleefully saying, we've really messed up downtown. I mean, South Broken Arrow. No, we're desperate to get stuff done. That's why we task you with this. And so I think it's time we start tooting our horn on exactly the work we're doing to get businesses down there, because every day I know that you and the Chamber and the EDC are reaching out to people, and I think it's important that we let everyone know the work we're doing. So thank you.
You know, I've known you, over 20 years now, and when you first came on the council, I remember right from the beginning, the thing that you talked about, and we have really done this as a city, is you talked about you've got to be more developmentally friendly to get these people in. You've got to make your processes much smoother. You've got to make it to where that people want to come into our city. And I feel like over the last 20 years, we've done that continually, year after year better. And it was really due in part to what you brought to the table 20 years ago, or over 20 years, when you first joined the council.
Well, I think it's really important that we're business friendly, and the business community has to know what our rules are. And when it's a moving target, it's real hard for them to hit that target. So it's the thing that we've got the reputation now that we are business friendly. People do know what the rules are, and that's so important, and that's what helps bring business to our community.
You know, in your position as mayor, what do you see whenever you talk to different people and they come to you talking about trying to do business in our city, and the importance of being able to work through the development process in a very quick, seamless manner to get their program, or to get their project rather, up and running? How important is that?
Well, that's very important, and went to someone that was representing for the shopping center council. That you go to that meeting, to that convention every year, and she said we'd much rather see a quick no than a slow yes. I mean, they really want to know what the rules are, and they can move on to something else if this isn't a good fit for them. So it's real important, and so we hear that a lot. We hear how that we get our answers quickly here, and that's really important to get those answers back to the development community very quickly, and that's one thing that we do.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's real important. All the things that we're doing, I think we're doing the right things. It's just, we need the density. We need certain things to bring certain retailers and certain businesses to our community, and we're doing what we need to do to get them there.
You know, one of the things Mr. Spurgeon, our city manager, preaches to us, even if all things are equal between us and the other communities, if we can get someone who is wanting to locate in Broken Arrow through the process quicker and less expensive, and get them to where they are actually serving our customer base, then we're going to do that. And that is something we've put tremendous effort in. Larry Curtis and his community development team do it every single day. And we try to be very, very mindful of serving our citizens, serving our customer base, if you will, every day in the best way that we possibly can.
Well, I think that is very important when you start looking at what we do and how we do it, and how we get people through that process very quickly, because time is money to any business person. And so it's very important that we get things done in a rapid pace, and they get their answers right away, and that happens here. And so that is the difference in us and a lot of other communities, is the fact that we can get things done very rapidly, and plus we have the demographic that wants to spend money and bring these businesses here. So it's really, really good.
Well, outstanding. It's great to talk to you. It's great to be able to do these updates, and Mayor, I thank you for all you do for our city, sir.
And thank you, Norm. It's amazing what development services and our community development is called now,
yes,
and then what you do to all the work that you put in to bring businesses here. And it's a tough deal to recruit businesses, and you know that more than anyone, but I think you're doing an amazing job.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for watching. To view the entire recording of the July presentation, go to brokenarrowok.gov/TED.